Hey sis, I just wanted to check in with you. I'm gonna try to keep this from being a long, lengthy post, but um, the graduation was awesome. I'll try to get some pictures and email them to you. Just totally incredible experience. It was great going to Ohio. However, and I was pushing. I knew I was pushing, just, to do it and to get there and what I was going to have to put my body through. But I was afraid too. I was afraid of being exposed, the airport, and the hotel, because those are big places with a lot of, signals, is what I was thinking. So anyway, got there. Everything was great. Wendell had no problems at the airport, and then had the celebration, had the graduation, went out to dinner, and I had at the graduation, I felt dizzy, and I felt my vision went blurry, 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 blurry. I mean, I could almost not even see Ileana, at all. I mean, it was like just the whole rows down there were like blur. And almost fell because I was dizzy coming off the, stadium. So I think what happened, because I'm going to explain this, but I think what happened is that I was getting exposed there. We were there for like 3 hours. But it wasn't the intense kind of exposure. It was like a light level exposure. And so we went home and went to the hotel, got ready, and whatnot. We were going to dinner, and I'm a little high right now. It's just starting to affect me, so excuse me if I start sounding like, or if I go off into somewhere either. Um, anyway, so went out to dinner, went to this restaurant, and 5 minutes in, 5 minutes of sitting there, my throat was starting to close, and so I was determined to. This weekend was going to be about her. It was not going to be about me. It was not going to be about this crap that I'm going through. And so I just was just gritting it and trying to breathe, basically. I just kept having to concentrate on breathing, because my heart just started. I started with palpitations, and it just started going up to my throat. And I was just getting more anxious and more irritable. It's almost like, I think the way I can describe it, anaphylactic shock, that they talk about. They say their throat starts closing right away, and it gets to a point where they can't breathe. And I was literally just fighting to try to keep focusing. I mean, it's not as serious as that, if that makes sense. It's not at that level. And so for an hour, I just bit it, grinned and bared it, and suffered in silence. And then finally it was like ready. We were leaving, getting ready to leave. And I had to get out of the booth. I was back there in the corner, and that was making it worse because I was feeling claustrophobic, and I didn't want to make a scene, and I didn't want to look like I was in distress. And so I was just trying to keep it all together. And so as soon as they started moving, I got out, and I even kind of pushed Soraida, and she's like, "Are you okay, Mom?" She knew something was wrong, but she didn't know what was wrong. And so I said, just go walk, just move. And so we went to the bathroom, and as soon as I got in the stall, I was just like, I just needed these deep breaths. I just kept feeling like I have to breathe. I can't breathe. And so I was still trying to keep it calm so that she didn't know, how bad it was. And so then we had talked about going across the street to get these cookies. They were called Insomniac cookies, and they were so yummy. And so when we walked out the door, I started going in the opposite direction, and Liliana was yelling at me, "Mom, that way, way." And I'm like, "I know, I need fresh air. I just need to walk." She had no clue what was going on, but I just kind of played off like I was dumb and didn't know which way we were going. And so we got over there, and I went in, I got him and got out. And as soon as I got in the car, she's like, "Do you need to sit down?" I said, "Yes." And I said, "Let's get in the car." I just started stripping. I was hot. And so things just started flying off. I mean, I had a hat and a coat and gloves and, a sweater on top of my clothes. And, so it was like I just started stripping everything off down to my clothes and was just trying to breathe. And So she got a hold of Ileana and said, I'm going to take mom back to the hotel. I'll be back in a minute. And she was asking, what was wrong. And so then I guess she told her to pull up, and she wanted to hug me goodnight. And so then then the emotions come, and you just start crying and crying and crying and crying. And so I'm trying to keep it together again and wipe the tears, so that she doesn't see me crying. And so she's like, Mom, what's wrong? And I said, I'm just tired, and so got her back in there, and so they got me back to the hotel and told her, just go and have fun. Just please, be there for your sister. And she's like, okay. And so she left, and I lost it. I mean, it was bad on a level of 1 to 10. It was a 10. And, I was on a Marco Polo with Pam, and, as soon as she saw me, going through it, she immediately made another Marco Polo to me and said, call 911. And I said, I'm not doing that. I'm not calling 911. And that I wasn't going to do that to my daughter. On this is her night. I'm not doing that to my daughter. And so she, she stayed with me basically on Marco Polo, and I was just, my blood pressure went up. It took me a good another hour and a half to get my breathing under control. And I was literally, she finally had me breathe into a paper bag because I was hyperventilating. And so I did, that helped. And I had no cannabis, I had no CBD, because I couldn't travel with it. And, I've been off of it for a week. It was over a week and a half, I think. And so I'm just like, I had found this, it's a CBD pain relief spray that doesn't have the THC part in it. And so I was able to bring that. So I found that helps calm things. And so I have to do a double dose. So I was doing that. I was doing the lavender essential oils. I was breathing in the paper bag. I was putting ice cold rack on my head. I put lavender on here. I just put lavender everywhere, just trying to get my body calmed down. And it was scary. That's all I gotta say. It was scary. And I just kept praying that the girls weren't gonna come home, with me in the middle of this, because I didn't want them to see it. And so I finally got all composed and calmed down, and everything just started working at once. And so, I was talking back and forth with Pam, and I don't know what I would have done without her, because you just feel like you're going crazy. Like there's something that's just forcing your body to go through this and feel all of this, and you can't do anything about it. And it's just like a bug in a bug zapper. That's what it feels like. It's just like it's like being electrocuted. You just can't get it. You can't get it under control. And so I finally got it all under control, and we were both praying and praying and praying, and so I was awake when the girls got home or to the hotel, and so I just, they were shocked I was awake, and but I was just so like this. I couldn't go to sleep as tired as I was, and by the time I got all zapped and it was all calming down, I was just so weak. It was like I needed to go to the bathroom, and I couldn't even get up to go to the bathroom. I was just like, I can wait. It's just like it leaves you. It just renders you helpless, just weak. And so, I was just laying there and told myself, I'm just really tired, but I don't have all my stuff to help me sleep. So anyway, it ended up that we ended up talking, and because Ileana was asking me if I knew what the source was, and if I felt that, why I didn't feel good, and if I felt it was, the Wi-Fi. So, it was like at that point, If they wake up in the morning and I'm dead, they need to know why. And so I told her, yeah, and so I showed her the video, and it's really hard to watch. And so they listened and they heard it, and so they asked me, what I felt at this point, and I said, I'm fighting something I don't know how to fight. But that I know that God has me here for a reason. And that if I have to be the voice that starts a new awareness movement for electromagnetic hypersensitivity, then I'm going to do that. If that's what my job is supposed to be, then I'm going to do that. But I needed them to understand that this is horrible. And that it looks and feels evil. And I don't want them to see that. I don't want them, to see this. So, but I don't want to keep them out of it, because Ileana was mad, that I had kept it from her. And I'm like, at this point, you had so much on your plate. I'm still trying to connect the dots, and this weekend is all about you. It's not about this. It's not about me. So I was just praying to get through the weekend without ruining your time, your moment, and having to lay this burden on you, because it's going to be a burden to watch, to go through. You guys have front row seats to what this is doing to me, and it's just a matter of time before it does it to you and the kids. This is the new cancer that everybody will have. So we all cried, and we came up with a plan. I pretty much am going to stay on CBD as much as I can. At night, it'll be the CBD with THC. During the day, it'll be the CBD. Because there's something about it, something in it that shields the frequencies. They're not as, it doesn't shock the nerve system as intense. And so that's what was the real problem this last week or and a half without me being on it, was that it was just every day. I was just like, so, I don't know how long before that I might have been feeling it, but I wasn't really feeling it because the CBD was shielding it. So, I'm going to be ordering some of the CBD ones without the THC gummies that are like a vitamin thing that you take during the day, and then another one that's for anxiety, because this creates such anxiety and anxious and irritability in me. I got banned off of Facebook on Thursday because I made a comment on a news report, a news company, like ABC, Fox News. There was a post that I knew I called bullshit on, and I got blasted. I mean, like probably 150 people I was called the most hated woman online. I mean, it was like just evil, bam, 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 bam. And it was just, and I don't usually do that. I keep my comments to myself. I keep my opinions to myself, on Facebook. I warn people, but I don't go on other posts to try to prove my point. But that's how I'm like wound tight, and I couldn't take bullshit anymore. And so I just laid it out there. And so Facebook banned me for 3 days for violating their community standards. I about died laughing. And, but it made me realize, that I'm just this is doing this to me, and I can't have that, and I won't live like that. So I'm like, I'm gonna be comfortable, damn it, and CBD will do that. So um, we basically agreed on that, and then every day I do a check-in with them, and if there's any issues, then I put it at a level. Like I'm at a level 1 or a level 2 or a level 5, and that way they know where I'm at on the scale. Because I told them every time I get zapped, it's shortening my life. The next morning I have bags under my eyes, and this got darker and deeper, and I had other wrinkles in here that I didn't have prior to the zapping. And I thought the next morning that it was because I, had such a rough night, and that it was just a rough night, and that I was going to feel it the next morning, and it's just gotten worse since every day that has gone on. So it's like it's going to be at certain levels, and I need them to know where I'm at. So we agreed that if it gets to a level 10, it's a 911 dot 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 10. But I know, like the other night, I knew it wasn't going to make any difference whatsoever if I called 911. I know the process. I've watched Pam go through this. By the time they would have got me there, got me checked in, got me logged, it would have all mellowed out to where it would appear like absolutely nothing's wrong other than I'm having a panic attack. And I won't be demoralized like that. I understand this is very hard to understand, and I grasp that it's very hard to explain, but I'm 95% sure at this point that's what it is. And the only reason I'm not 100% is because I have to hold on to that 5% of hope that I can find something, do something that will not only help me, but will help everybody else and everybody else that I love, because it's just a matter of time before everybody goes through this. And everybody will go through it at a different level. Some people get zapped and have a stroke. Some people get zapped and have a heart attack. Some people will be chronically ill for a long time. And it just depends on everybody's DNA and everybody's immune system. So, I really believe at this point that me having that electronic caregiver on me for 3 months just sped up my process, and like overdosed my system. So, I am going to go to work tomorrow and order this stuff and keep up with this plan that we have for as long as I can. And when I can't do that anymore, then I'll figure out my living arrangements and where I'll go, and at what level I'm at. If I need to go straight to the kids and that's it, or what we need to do. So I just wanted to let you know, and I know this is going to be disturbing, and I'm sorry, but I'm not going to keep you in the dark, and I want your thoughts, what you think, what you hear. So know that I love you very much, and I hope to be talking to you maybe in the next few days, if not definitely on Christmas. Okay, bye.